Hello there and welcome to Lufax. Today we are talking about the basic principles of responsive web design, which are those things that you need to do to make your website responsive. So to begin, first thing first, what I always do is when I have a sketch like this, this is a sketch I've made. When I have a mockup, in this case this sketch, I need to do the analysis trying to identify the different elements that are there so I can know which CSS rule I'm going to be using. So the first thing here, we have a menu. After the menu, we have a hero view. After that hero view, we have some elements down here. So when you look at this, you see this different separation. The same thing here, this is menu, hero view, So we do the analysis at the level of the desktop, but we start developing from mobile upward, because developing from desktop downward is more challenging than taking from mobile and going up. That is my own experience. I want to let me know your own experience at the comment section. So let's get started. Let me jump into Visual Studio. In the level of Visual Studio here, first we'll come back here. We have the menu, which has 3 children. Let's represent that. I'm going to be representing almost everything with divs, because I'm assuming you have the basic understanding of HTML and CSS, so that shouldn't be a problem while you are working on your own project. Div, I'm gonna call this menu, not logo, because that circle there should be logo. After that, I will get this div. I'm gonna call this the nav. Nav. After that, I have another one, div. I'm gonna call this, I've already gone. Let me give it a class search, whatever. So I have this parent element with its 3 children. If I come to the level of CSS, the first I'll call is first child logo. Logo, let me give it a height of I'll give it a height of 70 pixels. It's a logo, it has to be round. So that's the first thing we are if something has to be round, the height and width have to be the same. Okay, after that, let me give it a background color so that we can see it. What's the background color? This guy, okay, this is the code here. I'll copy. I have that background color here. I have it there. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, that's it. That's a square. I had that since I was testing other things. Okay, then I have the border radius now to make it round. Border radius 50%. If I can type percentage there. Border radius 50%. And we have it. So that's the logo. The next thing will be to represent the other 2 elements. The next child is a nav. The nav. Normally on a website, this will not need to have. The only thing I'll do here is the background color, because when you're doing a project, it will definitely have its children. So you will not need to be giving it a height. I think is the green one. You will not need to be giving it a height. So I'm not going to give it a height here. After that, I have the search. And this search, I'll also just give it a background color, which is the same background color as the logo. If I save, we come and refresh. I think the only thing we're going to see is still this logo, because the other guys don't have a height. And you know, by default HTML elements, when something doesn't have a height, its width is it is definitely 0. The height will be 0. So for us to see it, let me just give them the height of 72. 70. I would have done the height somewhere and just give. Okay. After I've made a class height, because I'll actually represent. No, let's forget about that. Voila. You have this. Where is the search? Is that the right spelling? Let me copy and paste, because if that's not the, make sure everything is the same. This here I say Sirash. Voila. Those are those little errors that you need to be very vigilant when working with CSS. I said Sirash, I was writing search. Anyways, no time to, I'll leave that as Sirash. Now let me show you this thing here. By the way, we are working in perspective of in the same way we are working using the Flexbox principles. So it will be Flexbox that we are going to be using. But before that, let me explain this piece of code that I have here. I already made it because I don't want to take time typing it out. Let me explain. Let me just say block. I'll just put it like that. I'm unable to come out with the right name for this. Okay, this is a principle that is borrowed from Bootstrap. You take the width of an element, you divide it into 12 equal parts, and each part like this here means 12. It means that there are 12 parts in it. Here 5, it means that 5. When you look at this width here, you see the different width. Because in responsive design, the first thing is that width of elements should be in percentage, because percentage are relative dimension. You don't want to have width in absolute dimension, like say a width of something 70 pixels or 700 pixels. It will be 700 pixels no matter where it finds itself. But when you say 30%, it is 30% of something, and that thing keeps changing. So you want to have your width in relative dimension and not absolute dimension. That's the first thing you need to learn. So I have this is what I'll be using to give dimension to this. I have nav and Siraj. Nav, I'm going to give it call 6. So if I come into nav, I say I want you to be call, oops, if I can spell that, call 6. If we refresh, we see that nav is shortened. This Siraj, the Siraj here, I'm going to give it a call 1. It's small. Call 1 is very small. I don't want it taking the whole screen. Okay, so the second thing, as I said, we are starting from mobile and going up. So I'm going to make it from mobile first. So if in mobile, when we look at this design, if I can get there. When we look at this design, we don't see this nav here. So it means I have to hide it. So what are we doing? At the level of CSS here, this nav here, I'm going to give it a display none. We don't need to. At the level of the mobile, I'm giving it a display none. Next, let me bring in the Flexbox. Just do this Flexbox. Flex. Then row. Let's be class row. Display flex. Row display flex. I'll take this and I give it to the parent element because I want the children to, oops, what did I do? I still have that display flex there. If we refresh, that guy is gone, this one is here, but now they are all in the center. So what I need to do is bring in class space. I'll just say space between like that. Then I say justify content space between. If I take this class here and still give it to the parent element, that's the beauty of Flexbox. Voila, you have them separated. We have them separated almost like there's this space in here. You could use padding for that, but let's leave it for as is for now. The pure design is not what we are looking for. So we have it separated. It means we are done. At the level of mobile, we are done with these. So let's arrange it at the level of the desktop. At the level of the desktop, the other thing we have to do is bring in the breakpoints. I'll bring in the breakpoints here. Bring in the breakpoints here. Let me end. I like to have my CSS neat so that I can easily find my way around it. So here, if we are, let me bring it at media on the screen, and mean Let me take the main width at 450 pixels. I hope it's not too small. 450 pixels. And what am I going to do? I'm just going to call this nav, and I bring it back. I bring this nav here. I say display block. That's all. So you see why I say we start from mobile and go down, because this other height and color is already here at the level of the mobile, and here what I have as a breakpoint is the mean width. That's the minimum width. It's not the max, because now this CSS up here for mobile is still true down here. It's still true down here. So if I refresh, okay, this you see the dimension here is 614. Let me count down to 4 something. You see it's gone. It's gone. It exists at 450 there, and it will continue existing. So as I make my breakpoint to be 4, so this is mobile, since our breakpoint is 450. Okay, that's it for the first element up there. If we look at it from here, we are almost done. We are done with this. This guy is having a different color. Let me get that color. It's having a different color. It's not the same color. Sriracha has a different color. I don't know why I'm wasting time on trying to change it. Anyways, but let's just change it. So the next part we find ourselves now is the hero view. We see that the hero view, we have a div and it has 2 children. So let's represent that HTML. I come here after I have a div. I'm going to call it hero. This hero has 2 children. Div. I will call this I just say disk for description. I don't know, whatever is there. And then the second div, I'm going to call it img for image. It might be an image, might be whatever. I'm not going into those details. So hero view has 2 children. What do? I come to the CSS. I'm not going to call hero for now. CSS, okay, here. I'm going to call this is .disc. I hope I've spelled it correct. Then what do I need to give it? I need to give it a height so that it's visible. I'll give it a height of let me take 400 pixels. I hope it's not too big. 400 pixels. If it's big, we're going to change it. Then I'll give it a background color so that we can actually see it. What's the background color here? It is this same color. Oops. That's the color. Should it be visible already? I think so. Voila, that's it. We need to give it some padding up there. Yeah, it doesn't have a width yet. So at the level of mobile, we can give it the width of the call 8. Call 8, so this is it. I'm going to give it call 8. Call 8, which now I'll have to explain certain things again why it's in this column. So the sum of columns here do not have to be above 100. When I count 100%, call 8, what's call 8? Let me look at it. Call 8 is or the call 8 here is 66.66%. So if I use, as I've used this, the remain, if I want something to be on the same line, on the same horizontal line with this, means that side by side, I have to give it a dimension that when you sum 8 and that dimension, it should not be above 12. So the only thing that I can have now is 1, 2, 3, 4. I cannot have 5 because 5 plus 8 is 13, which is above 12. So if I'm giving anything and I want it to be side by side, I should always make sure the sum of those elements that are side by side is beneath, is either 12 or underneath 12. Because if you're above 12, you're already above the viewport, which is 100%. And what will happen? Let me just show something here. Let me do a demonstration of what I'm trying to explain. So I have this, I've given it called 8. That's it. That's called 8. Now, if I come here and I give this a sibling, which I give it call, let me take call 7, which will be far above 12. So the img, let's make it visible too. Img, background color. What background color is it? I'm just going to be, it's the green. I think the green here is appearing here. Yeah, it has this background color. Then I'll give it a height same as its sibling here. Maybe, as I said, let's not, we are looking at responsive principles, so forget about the fact that I keep repeating some. Okay, that's it under here. Okay, it's under, that's it under, right? You see, you find itself, it's coming after its sibling Dix. But if, let's say, if I come now and I give a row here, if I put a row there and we refresh, you see, that's tried to squeeze itself to be side by side, like it's squeezing itself here because of flex grow, flex shrink kind of thing. You are not going to go into that, but you see that there's no longer any space here. If I come and I get this, let me do another thing here. Now let me not go into details of Flexbox. Let me not go into the details of Flexbox. So if I wanted to have any space in here, you see that it's not possible. So what I need to do is give it a certain dimension that is underneath, that the sum will not be up to 12. Let me give it like 3. If I need some space in there, I refresh, then you have it. So when I have down this space, because you see it has shrunk that 8, it was no longer 8. The two of them have shrinked into each other. Those are Flexbox things that you need to see what was happening there. So if I have this, if I don't want to, I have this now, and I can actually space them. So at the level of remote by, these things are all called 8. At the level of mobile, they are all called 8. But what happens now is that there's a flex wrap. There's a flex wrap wrap. I'm going to give to the row class. Where is that row? Okay, I'll add flex wrap here. Flex wrap wrap. What it means is that when the sum of the two columns is above 12, or when their width is above 100%, the next chart should go. The chart should go on the next line. So we have it here. This is them, but maybe that 8 is too small. Let me put it at 10. Let me put it at 10. Oops, that's 810 that I've just typed there. 10. Okay. I refresh. You have 10, so I can center it, justify content center. This is it here. Let me just put the justify. I'll just say flex center. Justify center. Because your naming convention has to be, I hope that's correct. Your naming convention has to specify what it's doing. So I have justify content here, center. I save. If I take this and I give to this parent here, is it safe here? Or refresh. Voila, that's it. It's in the center. Okay, this is the mobile, is gone. Let me just give it a padding there so that that thing shouldn't, is it a padding or a margin? What's that? I'll give it to the apparent. The apparent here is hero. I don't like the fact that it's looking joined to. Let me just bring it here. No, I don't want to put it inside Flexbox. Hero, and I'll give it the margin top. Let me just give it margin top and bottom. Margin top 20 pixels. Left and right 0. That gives margin top and bottom 20 pixels. Voila, I like that spacing. We could also separate these guys. They look too inside. So what I'll do is also I'll just pass through this guy. Let me just copy here. I'll paste, then I'll say GIF. So all the GIFs in it, instead of 20, let me just give it back 10. Left and right 2. In this case, I need left and right 2 because next thing is that they're going to be side by side. I would have just said margin 10%, 10 pixels. Voila. Okay, so this is how it looks like on mobile, but on desktop, we see that side by side. This is mobile, so we have to make it for desktop. What do we do at the level of desktop? So the first thing is we look at the dimension that the sum will not be above 12. So they can all have call 5 because there's some spacing around there. So here, what do? I need to bring in this guy now. It's the same thing, just that it has this differentiation here to make sure that is for desktop. It's the same thing, it's just this additional MD here at the end to make sure it distinguishes between this for mobile and this for desktop. So here I will use call 5. I can use call 5 or even call 4. Anyways, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is for us to understand what we're doing. Call 5. Call 5. If I save, refresh. So when we increase above that, you see, these are above 5, above 450. When we come down, we're looking at this is 450 here. Are you seeing here? If I just put 451, now let me put 449, 49. You see, that's it at 449. Because our breakpoint is 450, so 450 it comes into play. So that's it. So what have we done? We have changed the dimensions because the dimensions when it is in mobile is call 8, and call 8 is kind of like 66% of the viewport. But when we are on desktop or on another device, we come to call 5. Call 5 is how many percent? Call 5 is 41%. And 41%, let's say if they fix 41% of 1000 pixel, it should be bigger than 80, that's 66% of 700 pixels, something like that. Okay, of 700 or 400 pixels. Okay, let's continue with our work. Now we are done with that part. You see, when we clamp down, it's gone. It changes. This hides and show on its own. So normally, if we are doing it on the website, we're going to have a button here that will toggle this while we're on mobile so that we can click. It shows we select what we want to select and click a hide. So the next part now is this element down here. Let's look at these guys down. If I can get it. This guy is down here. This 4. So we have a parent element with 4 children. What do? HTML. After it is a parent element with 4 children. There's one concept I want to show at that level. I have this div. Let me just put the class parent here. There's nothing, I don't have a name for it right now. And this guy has 4 children and they all look alike. 1, 2, 3, 4. Div the child. I'm just gonna put them like that. Don't crucify me, please. Okay. So at the level of HCSS, if I come here, do I need to call the parent? I don't think so. Child. I'm going to give you the height of 300 pixels. I need to see it. Give it a height of 300 pixels. At the level of mobile, they all have call. Let me put call 8 for all of them when they are on mobile. Like call 10, exactly like this. I give them background color, because if there's no background color, we are not going to be seeing them. This is their color. Refresh. Voila. This is them. They're all here. The reason we are not seeing, let me give them a border so that we see that they're all there. Border 1 pixel, solid gray. You see, that's them. As you can see, that height, what height? Instead of 300, I gave 30. I was surprised why it was that small. Okay. So we have them down here. This is at the level of mobile, they have to be centered. So another thing they should have is each child has, let me give them a margin top and bottom. Margin top only because, yeah, let me just give it a margin top. I don't want margin top of let me specify top. Margin top of 5 pixels. No, 10 pixels. I like spacing. If I refresh, that's it. So it has to be justify center. We already use justify center somewhere. Just copy this class. I don't think it will work for now. It will not work. And if I refresh, it doesn't work because justify center works only for flexible elements. So let me put the row class there. And that's it, centered. Now this is what it looks like on mobile. We are cool with that. But there's another. I'm going to add a third breakpoint here for, let's say, I'm going to add a third breakpoint. Let's make tablet, just so that you see something. That's why I designed those as that. Medium device. Okay, there's supposed to be a larger device. Let me just copy this, paste this here. I'll put it at I put 920 there. 920. Yeah, I'm just imagining stuff now. Okay, I delete and I put LG for large device. I'm adding this breakpoint because I have something I want us to see. LG. The video is almost taking too much time that what I anticipated. Okay, then I don't need this because the nav does not change. 920. Okay, save. So if I come here, this is a chart. This is it on mobile, on desktop, or after mobile. Let's take it to medium device. At the level of medium device, I will give it call 5. I'll give it called MD5. So if I refresh, you see that there are two side by side. I see this 1, 2, 1, 2, depending on your design that you have. So let me just give them paging right or left so that we see what I'm doing there. Okay, child. Okay, this is child. I'm not talking about paging. Should have been margin top and bottom, that left and right 5. Yeah, I just want us to see this divide here. Okay, you see that's the divide. You could have this like this while you're on, let's say, another device, tablet, because tablets, yeah, let's say this was tablet, and then when you're on larger screen, you want all of them to align on the same line. What you will do in that case will just be, you come here, if you want all of them to align, you could give them call 3 LG, something like that. There are 4 of them, that will be 12. They'll still be choked up. Let's say call, I can see call 2. Let's say call 2. We have to go above 920. That's it, above 920, you see. Let me increase the space here. Then that's them above 920. When you are below 920, you have this. When you're below 450, you have this. So that's the basic principle of responsive design. You're hiding things, bringing them back, changing the dimension. This is per Flexbox. So if you follow this, you apply it on your project, it will definitely work. But the first thing and the most important thing you have to do is this analysis that I said here. You identify each parent, its children, each parent and its children. Because if you see, working with Flexbox, most of the time, the code, most of the time you see, we are giving the CSS rules on the parent element like this here. You see justify center row, this is that. Most of the time, those rules go to the parent element. So you always have to identify which I mean, like open something. You always have to identify your parent element, so that from that parent element, you know exactly what you're going to do to the children to make them responsive. So that was it for today. Ciao. See you on another video.